Before you had kids and adult responsibilities, if something went wrong, you'd figure it out, like you always did. You'd pick yourself up and start again. But that's changed now, because it's not just you anymore. You carry a list in your head that keeps you up at night. Not a to-do list, but a what-if list. What if this happens? What if it doesn't work out? What if I make the wrong decision and it costs us everything? You run scenarios before you go to sleep. You think 3 moves ahead in every direction. Not because you enjoy it, but because the alternative is being caught off guard, and you can't afford that anymore. Before, you could take risks and do what you wanted. You didn't need to worry so much if you made a mistake. Everything was just a learning experience as you were growing up. Now, the margin for error is so thin. You feel it every single day. So you plan and you prepare, and you think about every possible way things could go wrong. Not because you're a pessimist, but because you have people who depend on you, who can't afford for you to make a mistake. And the thought of them suffering because of something you could have avoided weighs on every decision you make. I know what it's like to feel the weight of every decision, to run every angle in my head before making a move. We put up with so much stuff we wouldn't normally accept, just because the thought of changing paths and disrupting the lives of our kids makes you think twice. That job that you hate and would have quit without a second thought when you were single, you're still working there, biting your tongue and smiling politely every day while you're daydreaming about that life you really want. When you're the only person affected by your choices, it's easier to take risks. It's easier to walk away. But when other people depend on you, every decision becomes about how it will affect them. And maybe that's why I find Nehemiah so interesting. Because when he heard what had happened in Jerusalem, he wasn't just looking at the broken walls. He was looking at people who were vulnerable and needed protection. People who were depending on someone to do something. So he assessed the damage alone, so nobody knew what he was doing. He calculated what was missing, what could go wrong, what it would take. He didn't move until he understood exactly what he was dealing with. And I understand that need to be prepared for everything, because when the people involved are yours to protect, you can't be careless and jump first without looking. You need to think it through and cover every possible angle. You need to stay 3 steps ahead, because the alternative is unthinkable. But here's what I can't stop thinking about. In the middle of all that preparation, the opposition still came. People who wanted the whole thing to fail. And when it did, Nehemiah didn't spiral. He prayed, and then he posted the guard anyway. He held both things at once, the planning and the surrender, the work and the trust. Not one instead of the other, both at the same time. And I wonder if that's the part most of us are getting wrong. Not the preparation part, but the part where you hand over the outcome to someone else and actually mean it. God is not asking you to stop caring about the people depending on you. He's not asking you to pretend the stakes aren't real or that the weight of the decision isn't heavy. But there's a point when preparation turns into control. God made you the way you are. He knows how you think and how you need to prepare for everything. But I do know he wants you to trust him with the outcome. Not hand over the control because you've exhausted every other option by yourself, but to work with him every step of the way, right from the beginning. The wall still needs building, but you were never meant to be the one holding it up alone. I'm going to say a short prayer, and if you don't have the words tonight, you can borrow mine. God, I am trying so hard to make the right decisions. I have people depending on me, and I can't afford to get this wrong. And that fear, that weight, follows me everywhere, into every decision, every plan. Every night I lie awake, running the numbers one more time. I know I can't control everything. I know that. But knowing it and feeling it are two different things. I don't know how to prepare responsibly and still let go of the outcome. I don't know where the line is between doing my part and trusting you with the rest. So help me find it and have patience with me, because I know I will try and take control every chance I get. Help me do the work without carrying what was never mine to carry. Remind me that the people I love were yours before they were mine to protect. I'm doing everything I can. Now I need you to do what I can't. Amen. Thank you for spending these few minutes with me. If you're anything like me, the battle doesn't end just because the video does. The old thoughts have a way of creeping back in when life gets busy again. So I've put together a free set of 10 truth versus lie cards to help bring your focus back to what God says is true. You'll find them in the description below. I hope they help.